All right, Daniel Mail here, going live to try to correct the record, set things straight regarding Rami Davidian and his insane lies that are misleading people and bringing a lot of shame and horror to the Jewish people. Rami Davidian perhaps started out. But what has emerged is he is just thoroughly dishonest and is using the situation to receive gifts, other things as well. So I can his claims one by one. Nothing really makes sense from what he said if you actually look at it. Unfortunately, not too many people actually looked at it. And it is quite sad. Most of all, I'll say this, it's primarily sad. Okay. So let's start with that first, that it's a very sad reality that this is what he did. And how he went about doing everything. Because everyone wants to believe that people are generally good and that there is no ability to lie and take advantage of a situation. But unfortunately, that is what Rami did. So it's important that people understand exactly what he did. Okay. So did save or help a few people at the Nova Music Festival. I'm not disputing that. What's different, though, is that he went on tours across the entire world, America, and other places as well. I believe he also went to South Africa, if I'm not mistaken. But he went to Canada, and he's just telling lies. So saving people does not give you permission to lie endlessly about what you did on October 7th. Again, not minimizing what he did. He just does not give you permission, does not give you carte blanche to lie repeatedly about what happened on October 7th. His story changes quite frequently. So if you actually look at what Rami Davidian said over the months, he never quite said the same thing. He always would vacillate between, oh, I was there right away, I wasn't. Oh, I got shot at. Oh, I wasn't. Oh, I actually killed the terrorists, or no, I didn't. It was never truly consistent. So the best check on Rami Davidian is Rami himself. That's the reality of the situation, that the best check is Rami himself. So if you look at this book here, One Day in October, right? He says, and I'm going to read here from this book. He says, at one point, I got a phone call from this amazing girl called Amit. The first time she called me on WhatsApp, she was still full of energy. Her voice was strong. But with each new message, I felt like she was slipping away, like I was losing her. By the time I reached the location she sent me, her voice had become really faint, and I didn't get why. And only when I found her did I get it. There were 6 armed Palestinians with her. They were holding her there. And I saw her and thought to myself, what do I do now? What do I do? Now, I'm going to add that when he spoke for a program that was put online, he said there were 5 or 6 terrorists with guns and that he disarmed them with a water stutzer, that he took a water stutzer from the ground and disarmed them. So his story here is not even consistent. And then I just started speaking to them in Arabic. It was totally instinctive. I said to them, what's going on? How are you? What are you doing here? My name is Abu Rami, and I'm from Patish, from Rahat. I'm Muslim like you. And I started negotiating with them, friendly like. And then at some point I said to them, you know, we're all in danger here because the soldiers are going to show up any minute now. So listen to me. I know the area a little. Give me the girl. You run in this direction and I'll run in that direction. and then maybe we'll meet up somewhere. Run as far as you can. I stood just 2 meters away from them, and they were all armed. They could have taken me out in a second, killed me. So on the video, he says that he disarmed them with a water stutzer. And then in this book, he claims he didn't. So which is it, right? That's just a basic question. Which is it? No harm, no foul. Just which is it? This is one example. And then the other thing is that he's actually claimed that he was out all night. Not only saving 750 people, but also untying people from trees and providing care for dead bodies. So just mathematically, to go from Patish to the Nova Music Festival site and back under heavy gunfire to save 750 people would take 6.5 days. And he's claiming to do that in a day and a half while also untying people from trees and providing honor to the dead bodies. And then I have these morons sending me messages. How do you disprove that what he's saying is true? The burden is not on me to disprove his crazy claim about this. The proof on him is to mathematically make any case that what he's saying is true. So then here he says, at 7, I got another call from some kids that had made it to some factory, needed rescuing. They begged me to rescue them. They were there for 9 hours. The police didn't answer. The army wasn't coming for 9 hours. Now, I'm not sure that that's even consistent with what any of the army nations have come forward now. And then what he says in his, and this is where it's crazy in this book. At first, I drove my own car, a Toyota Corolla, but soon after that, I switched. I wanted a more massive car that could maneuver, so I took my son-in-law's car, and by the end of the night, both cars were full of bullet holes. Looking back, I realized it was a miracle. I get it now, but at that time, I was on autopilot. Rami Davidian has been asked repeatedly for any evidence that any of his cars were full of bullet holes, and he hasn't provided a single photo. To this day, he hasn't provided a single photo that this is actually what happened. And I asked him privately. So for all those people that are asking for this to be private, whatever's going on, I asked Rami for this photo privately. He never provided it. He can't provide it because it's made up. So Rami is claiming all these things, but it's made up. And again, to go to the point about one who saves one life, it's as if he saved the entire world. Absolutely. I want to show you something because people are asking, whoa, what do you do all day? For over 2 years now, we were helping people that needed help get protective equipment. This is a bullet that would have, God forbid, killed someone, and this person's alive. So please don't come to me and tell me, oh, what are you doing? Because you don't care. It's not about that. It's about telling the truth about what happened that day out of respect for the dead, out of respect for the living, out of respect for the state of Israel and all the Jewish people. The idea that saving a person gives someone the right to lie is crazy. So what happened? He was going around with my friend Joseph Wax, and I met him in Miami. We welcomed him into our home, and he proceeded to tell us stories that were crazy, but actually lined up with this book. So he lied for profit. We helped facilitate a purchase of a vehicle for him based on the idea that he didn't have a vehicle, that he lost 2 cars. And that was a lie. So Rami straight up lied. And when confronted on it, he doubled down. And for everyone that's asking, oh, well, why don't you handle this privately? Why don't you deal with this privately? We tried to deal with it privately. He doesn't apologize. He doesn't admit any wrongdoing. He made up stories in an attempt to win public attention and eventually gifts and money, financial gain. So he's stealing valor in an attempt to elevate his own profile. And there's people that are standing up there trying to defend him as if this is some sort of October denialism. Absolutely not. This is just saying you have to tell the truth about what's going on. It's completely unfair to everyone else, including people who legitimately have PTSD, to invoke PTSD as a way to say that you cannot discuss any of what actually happened. That's another thing that he's been doing. So when people tried to talk to him about the fact he's committing a fraud, he would oftentimes say, well, it's very hard for me to talk about it. What is so hard for him to talk about? Like he would say, I can't eat meat because of all the bodies I saw all night. But if he wasn't actually out in the middle of the night, then how'd he have PTSD? So what he's doing is he's taking advantage of individual sensitivity to PTSD and abusing that in order to protect himself as he's being called out from his fraud. So again, for all those people who are having reading comprehension issues, is it possible that he saved a few people? Yes. Did he save 100 people? Let alone 750 that he was claiming. Did he have a single bullet hole in his car or his son-in-law's car? There is absolutely no evidence that he did that. Did he disarm 5 or 6 terrorists with a water Stutzer? There is no evidence that he did that. And his story kept changing. By dozens of women that were tied to trees after having been raped. This is what he claimed. The answer is no. So the real question is whether or not people are allowed to embellish stories, make up stories, say and do whatever they want in order to obtain money and fame. I say no. I say no. In fact, the reason I'm speaking up is to ensure that the next person doesn't also get scammed by him. That's the only motivation here, to ensure that nobody else can get scammed by this person. Scamming people, telling stories. He lit the torch at Independence Day. You have heroes of the war, widows, orphans. They didn't light the torch. Some people did, but no, they didn't light the torch. Rami lit the torch. There's also people that went in and actually saved people. They didn't light the torch. So why is this person allowed to go around freely and scam whoever he wants, make up stories, and there's no consequences? How's that possible? So this guy took the darkest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust and took advantage of it for his own financial benefit. That is what Rami Davidian did. Like it or not, not, that is what he did. So the sooner people wake up to this, the better off everyone is. That you can just lie. And because you did 1 or 2 or 3 or even 10 good things on that day, that makes it acceptable. Just not a real standard. I have no interest in calling out this kind of stuff. If someone wants to lie to their community privately or whatever it is, be my guest, whatever. But when you go and you go across the world and you lie and you take advantage of people, you go into synagogues and take advantage of people, then that's a next level violation. To take advantage of people that care about the state of Israel, care about the Jewish people, and manipulate them, there's no words for that. Who would make up taking care of dead bodies? Who would make up providing kavod for people that had been violently raped? Who would make up saving people? There has to be a serious problem. You have to have a problem. So I have Rahman's son, Rami, from that perspective. But for those people that know the truth and are willingly and knowingly staying quiet, that's a different story. The true heroes of that day that were honest and straightforward about what they really did. Oren Laufer, Rami's son-in-law, is a real hero. That guy saved a lot of people. And Leon, I believe it's Leon Barr, he was going back and forth and was actually then killed on October 8th. And Rami took some of his stories and started telling them as his own. And, you know, the thing about dead people is they can't defend themselves. So you have a guy who's taking stories from dead heroes, passing them off as his own, making money. And to call it out, you're essentially seen as anti-Israel. People said I'm like Candace Owens denying the Holocaust. I mean, the level of insanity is truly, truly crazy. So I wanted to put this up just so people can have a little bit of clarity about what actually happened. So there's enough of this nonsense. And hopefully this leads to some general awareness about what's going on. I really pray and hope that no other people that I have not yet met were scammed by Rami Davidian, because he has a propensity for scamming people. God bless him for whatever he did on October 7th that he actually did. But lying about it, going around the world and scamming people for their hard-earned money is completely